The topic is President Obama's education plan, and we're fortunate to have with us the Dean of the College of Education at Tennessee State University, Dean Millett. And of course, Dr. Millett, let me welcome you back to the third segment and to tell you how delighted we are to get all of this information from you and to simply allow you, in a real sense, to continue to instruct us in a real sense in terms of some of the things that Mr. Obama is planning on doing. And it certainly sounds encouraging in terms of the way he is trying to deal with the problem of education. Let's continue our discussion.
Okay. Before the break, we were talking about No Child Left Behind. And in reading in the President Obama's plan, it's not to do away with No Child Left Behind, but to strengthen it. A problem with the plan was that the goals were put there, but the funding was not put behind it. So the funding was left behind.
Okay.
So one thing that we're going to do, I said the two primary tenets of the plan, one were to provide children with appropriate benchmarks. There we had high goals, high standards for them to achieve. And the second one is to have a highly qualified teacher in every child's classroom. So what the president is going to do in his plan is going to strengthen the preparation of teachers. He's going to put more money into this. And I'm going to talk about a number of specific things that he's going to do. The plan is going to address the significant dropout rate. Part of this is going to be by doing assessments of children as they're progressing through schools, so that when problems develop, we can catch them early on and we can steer them right back to on the correct path. Another part of the plan is going to be that schools are going to be held accountable. Schools that are not making progress are going to be held accountable, Schools that are struggling are going to be encouraged, nurtured. Schools that, particularly charter schools, that are chronically underperforming, the funding may be cut off from those schools, and we're going to take the funding and put it into programs that are working, that are making more gains. In terms of math and science, where historically we've had challenges, math and science is going to become a national priority. The president is going to put funding to make sure that every child from kindergarten all the way up through higher education has at least the resources and exposure. They've got the opportunity to make the most of math and science in the curriculum. There's a section that's going to look at English language learners, people in this country where English is not their native language, it's not their original language. Schools are going to be held accountable, and they're going to be required to have the same high standards for English language learners as we have for any other students. There's going to be credits for students who maybe they're at a high school and they want to go to college at some point. Perhaps they haven't had all of the experiences that they need, but there's going to be credits where students at a high school can take courses, advanced placement courses, college-level courses at community colleges, and that will be subsidized by the federal government. So that's going to get them a leg up. And let me say finally about this K through 12 is that schools are going to be held accountable. There's going to be decisions are based on data. It's no longer going to be we're going to keep doing things the good old way. That's the way we've always done things. We're going to do things based on what the data are suggesting. In terms of higher education, if we're looking at the college level, this is another challenge. You're going to see, as we talked about in earlier segments, a very small number of people, small percentage of our population are able to get college degrees. A large part of this is because of the expense. I said earlier that during the last 5 years, the tuition has risen by about 40%. That's one part of it. And another part is that you can apply for financial aid, but the forms are so cumbersome and they're so difficult to complete that many people just are not able to do them, or they don't do them. So the way this plan is going to work in terms of higher education is that for families who meet certain criteria, the first $4,000 of their child's college is going to be paid. There's going to be a credit given to pay for the first $4,000.
$4,000 for each individual.
For each individual, $4,000 tax credit towards college. So this is going to make it so that many people may not have to pay much at all for that. Now, following this, 2/3 of their tuition at certain colleges, you know, what they consider quote-unquote average price universities or colleges, will be paid. So, for example, if you look at a fine institution like Tennessee State University, at Tennessee State University, the tuition for 1 year is